All right, thank you very much, Chip. In the Central, the Astros are leading the Cubs by 7.5, and the Cardinals just haven't been able to put it together this season. Perhaps too many injuries to their pitching and their ball club overall. Right now, an intentional walk is in the works to Carlos Baerga. And here's the wild card. The Mets and the Cubs are even for the moment. But with Houston leading 7-1 over the Cubs and a 7-4 Mets lead here, the Mets could be all alone in the wild card race at the end of the day. And the Giants are 4 out, Dodgers 7 back. The Mets are about ready to go on a West Coast trip. So they can take care of a lot of their own business, Jeff, but it won't be easy with the travel they've had, all these games they've been playing recently.
You're not kidding, John, but I really think they're armed to do it. I think Steve Phillips, as I mentioned before, has gone out and given them a very, very deep pitching staff, at least in the starting rotation. And Bobby Valentine has tried to rest his players. I've been listening to some of the talk shows around here. They've been all over him. Every time he rests somebody and they lose a game, he shouldn't have rested them. But Bobby knows what the schedule is. He knows how tough it is on these guys, so he's got depth on this ball club. This is a very solid team and an exciting team to watch, this Mets ball club.
Ray Ordonez hits the ground ball. Box to Bell. To Lee. Safe. And with a head-first slide, a run scores. Well, that was the idea, Jeff. Walk Baerga, set up the force out, try to get the double play ball, and the Diamondbacks almost closed the deal. But Ordonez hustled and earned an RBI out of it. 8-4 Mets.
Pitcher Bobby Jones.
Now, this ball was not hit hard enough. You can see Andy Fox trying to turn it. Jay Bell trying to get something on the ball, and here's Ordonez sliding over first base. Now, you know, this looks exciting, this diving play. You get to first base quicker running through the base than you do diving. The only time you really dive is if you think the throw is going to pull you off. But the tendency for any runner is he thinks because his head's getting closer to the base, if I dive, I'll get there quicker. But hitting the ball to the right side of the infield is a tough double play to turn unless the ball's hit real hard.
With Ordonez safe at first, he drives in Mike Piazza. That's 34 runs batted in for Ordonez, a new career high for him. There's Bobby Jones. Jones has a strikeout, a fly ball out, batting with 2 outs. The run, by the way, was charged to Andy Bennis. He has been charged with all 8 runs and is responsible for McRae at third. Jones checks on the pitch up and in.
Well, we talked about Bobby Jones being a good athlete and a good hitter. He does a lot of little things to help himself. He's a very good fielder. We've already seen that on several plays today. He holds runners close. He's able to swing the bat well. Now, I don't know how well he's going to be able to swing the bat against his slinging right-hander who throws the ball from down and under, kind of.
Well, just take a few pitches.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
2-0.
I'll tell you, when you see, if you're a right-handed hitter and you're standing in the back box and you have a guy who kind of lean and flicks the ball from the side, it looks like it's coming by way of your left shoulder. It's tough to keep your back pockets in there.
3-0. Don't put that bat down there. As Rodriguez backs him away with ball 3. Another wide one, and the pitcher becomes a base runner loading the bases. Tony Phillips is on deck. The Mets batted around in the second and scored 6 times. And that's ball 4. So Phillips will be the 8th man to bat in the inning. Ordonez goes to second. Jones is on first, joining McRae, who's over at third. And now the Mitchell in game summary. Mike Piazza hit his 4th grand slam of the season. The Mets had a 6-run second. The 300th career double for Jay Bell today. And Bennis has been charged with 8 runs over 4 innings on 5 hits. He walked 6. To summarize the base runners, McRae at third, Ordonez at second, Jones at first. That's the second walk of the inning for reliever Felix Rodriguez. Tony Phillips has 1 career grand slam, up for the 2nd time today with the bases full. Phillips has a strikeout, a sacrifice fly, and a walk. He was stranded at third base. Wasn't a good start at all for Bennis. And here comes Mark Connor out of the dugout as the Diamondback pitching coach makes yet another visit to the mound.
Well, I think he's made a lot of visits during this season. You know, when you got an expansion team and your earned run average is 2 from the bottom of the league, your batting average is last in the league, meaning your pitching staff doesn't have a lot of runs to work with. You've got a lot of guys from other organizations that you're trying to put together, and Mark Connors and Buck Showalter know what they've got a lot of teaching to do, and what Mark was out there to say to young Felix Rodriguez to take your time and don't aim the ball, throw it. Anybody that throws from that low arm angle has a tendency when they get in trouble to try to aim the ball and they can't control it. Goes all over the place.
Tony Phillips has the advantage here, 1-0, with the runners leading all the way around, and Felix Rodriguez pitching. 2-0, and no place to put Tony Phillips. The Diamondbacks had a 4-0 lead. Aaron Small warms in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, backing up Felix Rodriguez. But after an inning and a half leading 4-0, the Mets exploded for 6 in the second. There's a strike to Phillips, 2-1. Now the Mets have added 2 runs in the 5th inning. The second inning started with a leadoff walk to Todd Hundley. This inning began with John Olerud taking a leadoff walk. There's Mike Piazza. Grand slam for Piazza in the second. Phillips got under this one. David DeLucci, with the sunglasses on, makes the play. 8 men came to bat, 2 scored. We're going to the 6th at Shea Stadium in New York with the home team Mets leading the Diamondbacks by. And into sounds of the game. Bob Apodaca talking to Bobby Jones after Bobby finished the Diamondback 5th.
That you got to accept. That's the first road to really pitching with and having a successful game out here today, is accepting what you have today. And now you're starting to do it. Now you're starting to do it. You're not trying to do too much with the pitches. Okay? Now this is the part of the lineup that we really got to concentrate on. These are the guys that we got to get out. Okay? Got to get these guys.
Apodaca set up Jones for DeLucci, Bell, and Garcia. Get through this part of the order and perhaps get him through his day at 6 innings. And an 0-2 count here on David DeLucci, who makes pretty good contact.
Well, Bobby Jones has struggled. We talked about it right from the first inning. He has struggled in this game, but you got to give him a lot of credit. And you can hear the teaching going on. Bob Apodaca came with Bobby Valentine from the minor leagues. He had been a minor league pitching instructor here for a lot of years. He's a real good teacher, and they are really trying to pull Bobby Jones through this game. And you got to give Mike Piazza a lot of credit too. Remember, he's the guy initiating these signals. He's trying to work Bobby through without good stuff. You heard Apodaca say what his comment to him was, you've got to accept the kind of stuff you had today, meaning you don't have very good stuff, but now you're not trying to do too much.
Here's the 78th pitch for Jones. Took something off that one and got DeLucci on strikes. 4 strikeouts for Bobby Jones. And the stuff right now is not bad either.
No, now this is that big curveball we were talking about. See it roll down in there?
And he just rolled it up there. He didn't throw it very hard.
You know what he's done? He's pulled back. He stopped trying to throw so hard, and he's really slowed himself down. We heard Apodaca talking to him earlier about slowing down the tempo, and he's done that.
Jay Bell. Slow curveball strike, and Jay Bell is 2 for 2.
Well, John, if you can start getting that big breaking ball over, it makes your fastball better because it slows your bats down. You get that over early in the count of the way Bobby Jones has. Now, see, you come back with a fastball, and the hitter's not sure what's coming.
That's good pitching.
Yep. Well, this guy is a pitcher. He just struggled so much early in the game that give him a lot of credit for staying together.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Jay Bell. The Mets do have some activity in the bullpen.
Did you just
a moment ago?
Did you just see what he did? He threw that ball and he missed by a long way, and he kind of flexed his back. Remember we were talking about his bad back? He just stretched again. He could be getting tired as we talk. You pitch with your legs because you have to have strong legs under you to balance yourself.
And the curveball bounces to Piazza. Dennis Cook was throwing in the bullpen a moment ago, but now the Mets pen is quiet.
Hey, this Mets pitching staff is a very good pitching staff. Bobby Valentine himself has given Bob Apodaca a lot of credit for this pitching staff.
Right back off the pitcher to Ordonez. Jones to Ordonez to Olerud. 1-6-3. Jay Bell is out number 2. That was a shin burner right there.
That ball gets back in a hurry, especially when you're getting tired. You can't move your feet too much.
Oh, kick save.
Yeah, he tried to use the skates on that one to keep it out of the goal.
It worked.
But we've been talking about the Mets ball club. You know, what they're doing is not a surprise to baseball people in the sense that this is a very solid club. This team has great depth in their starting pitching.
Ball one to Kareem Garcia.
And obviously it needed it this week with 3 doubleheaders. And they didn't have to call somebody up to pitch one of those. That shows you the number of people they have. There's Al Leiter, who's had a tremendous year. They thought they lost him for most of the end of the season. He came back with that knee problem, has been outstanding. Rick Reed has been outstanding. John Franco at the end of the bullpen has really turned it on lately. He struggled through the month of July, but has really done a job lately.
Sometimes that's all it takes for a reliever is turn the page on the calendar.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what's neat. They're starting, there's Rick Reed, they're starting now to have electricity around the ballpark. You know, the ball players feed off the fans as well. You know, I noticed this area down behind the Mets dugout where they used to all gather and say, "Jeff must go."
Oh, I remember that section.
Yeah, that section over there. They filled up with other fans now.
They got their way, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I'll tell you what, this is a very good team.
The walk to Garcia is only the second given up by Bobby Jones. The other was an intentional walk to this batter, Kelly Stinnett. Stinnett 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to the third baseman in the fourth, and he takes a ball wide here from Bobby Jones. Bobby is doing everything he can to try to get through this inning.
Yeah, he's really standing tall now. He started the inning by getting the breaking ball over very effectively. Then he got ahead and threw a couple wild pitches where he didn't look like he felt very comfortable, like maybe he was really starting to tire and stiffen up.
Coming out to the on-deck circle, Yamil Benitez will bat for the pitcher. There are 2 outs. And a 2-1 count here on Kelly Stinnett. ...101 pitches Tuesday in a no decision against Colorado when he went 6 innings. He's at the 90 pitch count. And he's around longer simply because he hasn't walked batters the way Andy Bennis did.
Yes.
Bennis had a stretch where he retired 7 in a row, had a couple of good innings. But then that fell apart when he walked John Olerud leading off the 5th. And there is Dennis Cook. He was throwing a moment ago, stopped, and he's getting ready again in the Met bullpen. Kelly Stinnett with a 3-1 count. 3-2.
You see Dennis Cook out there warming up. There's another guy that Steve Phillips brought him in from a winning situation, the world champion Florida Marlins. Solidify the bullpen from the left side at the bottom end.
We didn't mention Lenny Harris either.
No, boy, what a good hitter he is, especially an exceptional pinch hitter.
The 3-2 pitch. Lifted, foul, right side. Olerud going down the line, and no play. Kareem Garcia goes back to first base with 2 outs. And when the Mets come up in their half of the 6th, they'll have Alfonso, Olerud, and Piazza scheduled to hit. 8-4 in favor of the Mets today. Houston has an 8-1 lead at Chicago with the Cubs batting after singing "Take Me Out to the Ballgame." They're in the bottom of the 7th. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 5 for the game today for Bobby Jones. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. A 4-run lead for New York. For a pinch batter, but the pitcher's spot did not come up in the top of the 6th inning. 1 for 2 today for Alfonso. Alfonso got his base hit, driving in a run in the 2nd inning. Walked in the 1st, hit a fly ball to left center field in the 4th. He's made a nice play in the field.
You talk about clubs with chemistry. You're talking about a good person, about a leader, like the Diamondbacks went to get Jay Bell.
And funny you mentioned that. I was talking with Bell today about chemistry, and he said he's starting to see some things come together in Arizona, but that's where the time factor will come in.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Well, that's a brand new ball club, but you take a look at the Mets, much the same as on the other side of town. Great chemistry with the Yankees. Of course, you know, when you're winning games like that, you say, oh, the chemistry can't be wrong. But it can be. But the Mets have really...
How do you win games like that to begin with?
Well, yeah.
I think there has to be that foundation with chemistry.
Well, sure, you get talent, but then chemistry. But look at this bunch in the bench. These guys all know the roles. They all are guys that get along well. You brought some new people into the mix. But I tell you, that's another thing. When you can go out during this era, there's Lenny Harris. There's a guy who's one of the best pitchers in the game, came over from Cincinnati. When you have a club that looks like it's ready to do something, and your general manager can go out and make a big deal. When they went out and got Piazza, you didn't think that didn't stir things up here, not just with the fans, but with their own team.
Here's a solid drive into center field. DeLucci has it tracked there. He makes the catch. Alfonso flies out, 1 out. Up next, John Olerud.
First baseman John Olerud.
But when you talk about chemistry on a club, most of the time people say it's overrated. Well, it's not overrated till you don't have it. When you don't have it, you realize you got problems. But you see, now you got two guys in the dugout right now. They're two veterans. They're talking, hitting about what they want to, how they would approach things, or what they're doing as far as balance is concerned. Tony Phillips and Lenny Harris. You think the other guys sitting in the dugout are listening and watching that?
And there are a couple of guys who want to win.
Well, you're not kidding. And they've been on clubs that have won.
John Olerud has been on a winning team with the Toronto Blue Jays, won a batting title with them.
Now there's Steve Phillips. Steve came into in a difficult situation a year ago. Joe McIlvaine, a very popular executive with the Mets on 2 occasions, was let go, and Steve came in under a difficult situation, has handled it beautifully. Had been a player in the Mets organization, a graduate of Michigan, very sharp young guy. But they slowly put the pieces together here. Pitching and defense is solid. Now their offense. And here's a guy leading the league and hitting right in the middle of the lineup.
A strike to Olerud, a count of 2-1 on him. A 78-mile-an-hour pitch. There's the profile for John Olerud out of Washington State. Had a 23-game hitting streak, longest in the National League. A 93 All-Star. That had something on it. That was the best fastball thrown by Rodriguez in his relief outing so far.
He's got a good arm. The idea is whether he can locate it from that low arm angle. When you watch Olerud hit, though, what a classic way to hit. Spread out, not too much movement, just his hands just before the pitcher comes.
And then drives the ball to center field. DeLucci moving back with room at the track, makes the catch. The last 3 outs have been recorded on flyouts to David DeLucci. Now Mike Piazza is coming up.
Catcher Mike Piazza.
Here's the pitch from young Rodriguez. It's a ball is kind of tailing away. Now look how nicely Olerud stays back on the ball. Then he comes through the ball, and that's why he doesn't get fooled often. That's why he hits for high averages. He doesn't have a lot of leg hits. He's not a speedy base runner, but boy, what a good hitter.
Mike Piazza hit a slam in the 2nd inning, got a base hit in the 5th, 2 out of 3 with a couple of runs scored. Piazza hit his 4th grand slam of the season when he KO'd Andy Bennis in the 2nd inning. The National League record for slams in a season belongs to Ernie Banks of the Cubs in 1955 when he hit 5. Piazza also hit his 9th career grand slam. Broken back ground ball. That's played by Andy Fox. And Rodriguez gets the Mets 1-2-3 in the 6th. On to the 7th we go. 8-4 Mets. Hundreds of thousands of fans all over Major League Baseball. In fact, the Yankees gave away a Beanie Baby the day that Wells threw the perfect game. Here's a high pop off the bat of Andy Stankiewicz batting for Rodriguez. And that belongs to Todd Hundley. 1 out. Todd's looking a little more comfortable in the outfield than he did at first, isn't he?
He really is. You know, it takes a lot of guts for a guy who's been a catcher most of his career, who's got a very tender arm, to go out there in the middle of a season and play in the middle of what is really a pennant race for these guys. I give him a lot of credit for doing it. I give Bobby Valentine a lot of credit for playing him. And here's the other left fielder, or the left fielder originally here, and Bernard Gilkey, who was on deck.
The batter is Andy Fox. Showing bunt. He takes ball 1. Fox against the Mets on Sunday had a steal of home. The first steal of home in Diamondback franchise history. And that was on the back end of a double steal. But still a steal of home. A strike to Fox, 1-1. Andy Stankiewicz batting for the pitcher, hit a fly ball to left field for the first out in the 7th inning. And Bobby Jones still working out there. Now Jones wants the outside to go through the signs again, with Fox growing impatient. This is a determined pitcher on the mound today for the Mets. A little looper on the third base side, foul territory. Alfonso takes it. We're talking about Todd Hundley making the move from behind the plate to left field, coming off the elbow surgery. This is what it looked like in the beginning.
Left fielder Bernard.
After all, anybody can play outfield. But Todd looks like he's a little more comfortable out there, and all it takes is just one little mishap out there, Jeff, and then put that seed of doubt in your mind. And then another happens after that. We saw that with Steve Sachs trying to play second base for the Dodgers, and Knobloch had a problem with that with New York this year, right across town.
Well, I talked to Todd Hundley about it. He said he had some sleepless nights. He said, you know, he's got great pride. He's worked hard to get back from this major surgery. But he said, I had sleepless nights. I didn't know what I was doing out there. And as you say, all of a sudden you have a negative thought. You miss one you think you've got. You say, uh-oh, what's going to happen now?
Line drive into center field. McRae watched it knuckle but made the catch. Gilkey is denied a hit. 1, 2, 3 go the Diamondbacks in the 7th inning. And at the 7th inning stretch, the Mets have doubled up on the Diamondbacks today, 8-4. The outfield.
I think John Olerud put it best, you know, because before I started the position, I said, oh, this is going to be no problem. Outfield is easy. And after a few nights that weren't real easy, John Olerud said, look, these guys have been playing the outfield their whole lives. It would be like them coming in from the outfield and catching. So they make it look so easy, so we think that we can go out there and play the position so easy, and it's not that easy a position.
No, it is not. Now the Mets are batting with Brian McRae leading off against Chris Mahalik, making his major league debut in a foul ball by Brian McRae. McRae made the nice catch in the outfield to end the top of the 7th and leads off the home half. 1 for 3 today for McRae, hitting .269. Chris Mahalik had his contract purchased from AAA prior to last night's game in Philadelphia. Opened the year on loan to Tulsa, Double-A. Goes right after Brian McRae, striking him out. 1 out in the 7th inning. And now for our Toyota game summary. Or we'll go to the game summary in just a moment. There's Mahalik with his first major league appearance. Mentioned that he was with Tulsa. Then got his first taste of AAA, working 29 games, 9 starts with the Tucson team, going 3-8 with a 5.03 ERA. One strike. He's thrown strikes, getting Brian McRae while away to break in. And a good breaking ball. You
know, you made a point just before about it isn't an easy game. And I think what happens, commentators up in the booth, the farther you get away from the dirt, the smarter you get. You get up here and you forget how tough this game is, and that's what happens with fans sometimes when they get on players. But the major league players make the position look easy because they are so good. They're so talented. You get to this level and you're at the top of the game. This is a very difficult game, maybe the most dexterous game there is.
I remember Carlton Fisk trying to make the move from behind the plate to left field, and Ted Simmons tried it with the Cardinals when they wanted to give Terry Kennedy a chance behind the plate.
Well, just think about guys trying to shift some positions when I've seen catchers, for an example, say, that pitching's easy. Now they're getting a blowout game. They put a catcher in the mound. He doesn't even know how to stand out there.
But Craig Biggio made the move from catcher to the infield quite well. And there's a punch out. 2 strikeouts for Mahalik.
Well, that's a good start for this young man. Coming to New York before a big crowd. Step up and throw strikes. That's the name of the game. We had not seen a lot of strikes from the Arizona pitching staff, and I think that's one of the things that happened today, and Buck Showalter knows he's got to live with that. And I think the thing that hurts the most is get a lead and you got your ace on the mound. You got a veteran who's been around in Andy Bennis, and he can't hold him down. That hurts.
A smash foul down the left field line by Carlos Baerga. Baerga has a hit, a run scored, a strikeout. He was on an intentional walk, 1 for 2. Houston has an 8-1 lead at Chicago against the Cubs in the bottom of the 8th inning. With 2 outs, 1-1 on Baerga. As a right-handed batter, Baerga has hit only .205. He has batted .300 left-handed. Short right center field. Karim Garcia puts the squeeze on it. 1-2-3 in the 7th inning for the Mets. On to the 8th. 8-4 has been replaced by left-hander Dennis Cook. Cook, who has been with the Cleveland Indians and Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox, was a member of the world champion Florida Marlins last year. A .241 ERA, a 7-4 record this season. He's appearing in his 58th game with a save. 19 walks, 51 strikeouts. Those are really good numbers, Jeff.
Boy, are they ever. And it really gives you that balance to have a left-hander in that bullpen, too, leading up to John Franco. So you can use left and right. And Cook has been there. When you're able to get a, look what he's doing. He's scratching up the seams on the ball to get a little bit better breaking ball.
Let's check in on Sammy Sosa in Chicago now.
Well, again, we welcome those of you watching the Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Mets. Here at Wrigley Field, it's been all Houston. Randy Johnson with the first 7 innings, allowed 2 hits and 1 run. He struck out 9 and retired Sammy Sosa all 3 times in the game. Sosa has not hit the ball out of the infield in 3 at-bats against Johnson, who's been lifted at the end of 7. Sammy has popped up to second, struck out swinging, and grounded to the shortstop, Ricky Gutierrez. He has 2 on here in the 8th against Doug Henry. And there's a strike. Fans in the bleachers so badly wanting to catch number 50, as are those out on Waveland Avenue. Boy, look at the crowd out there. Sosa in his career 0 for 7 against Doug Henry. And the 0-1 is Sammy. Big swing and a miss.
Let him chase a bad pitch up and out of the strike zone there. Set him up with a fastball on the outside corner. First pitch goes up the ladder. Sammy is a very good low fastball hitter. Henry puts this fastball in a great spot up around the letters, inside corner. Sosa with 2 strikes. Be a little more defensive at the plate, but he's still going to take a rip if Henry throws him a strike.
Better than 39,000 on hand here at Wrigley Field, sticking around to watch Sosa one more time in the batter's box. And that one upstairs, 1-2 to Sosa. Sosa, after today, will have 33 games left in the 1998 season. He has 49 home runs. One-two pitch. Fastball up, count even. We're wondering about those players in the 1990s. Cecil Fielder, Albert Bell, Brady Anderson, Ken Griffey Jr., and Mark McGuire. 3 years in a row has hit 50 or more home runs. Sosa in search of number 50. 3-2. The crowd will boo Doug Henry like there is no tomorrow if he walks Sosa.
Well, Larry Dierker may boo him as well. What appeared to be a very comfortable 8-1 lead. A walk to Sosa and a long ball, and it's a completely different ball game.
On the ground, knocked down by Spires, who gets the out on the forced play at third base. So Sosa finishes at least.
And a good thing there was a force out at third base in that Chicago game. Matt Williams is batting here with 1 out as Dennis Cook struck out Travis Lee. And Williams has a 2-1 count. And there's Cook rubbing up the baseball.
Well, he's a veteran, and all pitchers have little tricks. He was just raising the seams before with his fingernails. You pull across the seams and it gives you a good grip. It really helps your breaking ball, but it also helps you grip the ball well. And it's not illegal. It's not like applying another substance or scratching the ball, but it's a little trick that a lot of pitchers like to use.
And if they're strong enough to do it, gives them a much better grip. Ball 3, 3-1 on Matt Williams. The Diamondbacks came into the game at 48 and 81. 1993, Colorado finished up 67 and 95. The other expansion team, Florida, went 64 and 98, and Florida won it all last year and then dismantled the ball club. The Mets, of course, 40 and 120 in 1962. 3-2 on Williams. Houston and the Mets came in 62. Houston went 64 and 96. The Mets lost 120, the most losses by an expansion team. The Angels 70 and 91. Senators 61 and 100 in 61. Seattle and Toronto came into the American League in 1977. Seattle lost 98 games. Toronto 107. Williams went after what might have been ball 4. He's shaking his head. 3-2 on him. In 69, Kansas City went 69 and 93. The Seattle Pilots 64 and 98. The Pilots are now the Milwaukee Brewers. Montreal lost 110 games in 69. San Diego lost 110. And I know there were much higher hopes for these Arizona Diamondbacks coming into the National League. So many of the fans in the Valley wanted the team to finish close to 500, but that won't happen. Strike 3 call. 2 strikeouts for Cook, Lee, and Williams. And now the Toyota game summary, as I promised. Mike Piazza, the first Mets grand slam in 1998, his 4th of the season. Bobby Jones threw 101 pitches. He's in line for a victory, his 9th of the year. Andy Bennis gave up 8 runs, but Bennis today got in trouble with 6 bases on balls. And Jay Bell 2 for 3 and a run scored. There's your Toyota game summary. And a big swing by DeLucci. There's Cook raising the seam.
There he is, using his left thumb to raise the seams, and has a good breaking ball. And he's just struck out the first 2 hitters he faced, Travis Lee and Matt Williams.
0-2 now on DeLucci.
See, those raised seams allow you to grab the ball on the seams and pull it down, get better spin. In the past, some guys would sneak a little pine tar into their glove and put it on the ball and make the ball break. But this works for Dennis Cook. This just raising the seams.
Oh, borderline call goes DeLucci's way. Wasn't Jay Howell in the playoffs here for the Dodgers against the Mets that got caught with the pine tar?
Yes, it sure was. What was that, 88?
It was in the
88 playoffs.
88 playoffs. And the curveball wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jay Bell is on deck. When the Mets bat in the 8th, they have Ordonez coming up in the 9th place, now manned by Jermaine Allensworth. Here's a comebacker and a nice play by Cook. 2 strikeouts and a 1-3 on the scorecard as he works a 1-2-3-8. 8-4 Mets as they come to bat in their half of the 8th. To retransmit it in any form, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. And our thanks to Captain Richard Daniels and the entire crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for today's overhead shots. The Goodyear Blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. Their first event, live coverage, the Orange Bowl in 1960. Nice work today, guys. We appreciate it. Ray Ordonez. It's an off-speed pitch. Left center field. DeLucci. He can't get there. And it's backed up by Gilkey. Save at second base. Ordonez with a hustling double.
That was hustle all over the place. Ordonez right out of the box was really busting it. He knew he didn't hit the ball very well. He kind of blooped it in no man's land. DeLucci's hustling like crazy to get there. Can't get there. It bounces by him. He's going so hard. Now, nice play by Gilkey. Didn't waste any time. But this was nice hustle by Ray Ordonez.
There's the first hit off Mahalik. Jermaine Allensworth. You see Ordonez taking a lead after his 17th double. There's a good curveball. A strike called on Allensworth. 286 hitter, 4 home runs, and 29 runs batted in.
This is a good pickup. This kid could play. He can run. He's a good defender. He's a guy you can plug in center field. You can plug him in as they have defensively in left field when Todd Hundley late in the ball game wants to be replaced.
There's a strike. Couldn't hold up on the breaking ball inside.
Had been with Pittsburgh and then went over to Kansas City. But this is one of those guys. This is what championship teams do. They solidify their bench. They get their depth stronger.
Leadoff double for Ordonez. Allensworth, and then top of the order, Tony Phillips. On the ground to Williams at third base. Ordonez breaks for third, and he's going to make it. Allensworth is out. Runner at third base. One out for Tony Phillips. And this is a good base running.
How about that play? This is a good play because you think if you want a situation like that, you want to go to the right side of the infield to get your runner to third base. As it turns out, the ball was pulled to third, and a very good heads-up base running maneuver by Ray Ordonez. Cookie Rojas at third, the coach, reading him on. Now here's the play. Now he holds up. He gets close enough to second that he can get back, but then he sees Matt Williams.
Williams didn't even look back.
No. Well, he didn't have any time to. Allensworth could fly.
The ball wasn't hit that hard. You're right. That one is with Williams in, and a play at the plate. Save! Ordonez doubled, moved up on a hustling play on a ground ball to third, and came home on a ground ball to third.
Well, you see Bobby Valentine pointing to the bases. This is a manufactured run by Ray Ordonez. He ran and hustled into a double, a bloop to left field. He made a great move to third base. This play at the plate isn't as close as you think it would be. The throw is off, so Kelly Stinnett can't do much about it. First guy I ever saw him make this play real easy was Maury Wills, and he taught the Dodgers that if the third baseman gets that ball and moves up the line, you can follow him as far as he goes because you can get back if he turns to get you. That was a great play.
The timing was impeccable. 1 ball and 1 strike on Edgardo Alfonso, batting with 2 outs, but a double, a ground out, and the Mets have a run and lead 9-4. That was impressive. Very impressive. Stroke to left field. Gilkey with the catch. The Mets and the Diamondbacks go to the 9th inning with the Mets leading by 5 at Shea Stadium. Stay with us.
It has arrived. The day when you stop listening to the tales of other lives lived and begin the odyssey that will...
Tell what? I use Just for Men. That's hair color.
Even your barber can't tell you use the hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
I never would have guessed.
Just for Men, so natural, even your barber can't tell.
For 100 years, Biv the Michelin Man has symbolized our never-ending quest to invent the best tires in the world. Michelin, celebrating 100 years of innovation.
There's something about Puffy. There's something about Mary. Rated R. Now play.
When you're renting a car, you don't always want to drop it off where you pick it up. And with National Car Rental's one-way rate program, you don't have to. You could pick up your car in Jacksonville and drop it off in Nashville. Or pick it up in Los Angeles. Drop it off in Las Vegas. In fact, with national special one-way rates, you can pick up your car almost anywhere and drop it off almost anywhere else with no separate drop-off fee. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Fox presents a comedy you'll never forget about the decade half of us can't remember. That 70s show premieres tomorrow at 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Bell. To the 9th with the Mets leading 9-4, and a quick look at our Red Lobster catch of the day. And we take you back to the 3rd inning. Travis Lee hit this pop-up toward the third base dugout. And there's Mike Piazza with the Red Lobster catch of the day. What a play that was. Piazza had a grand slam in the 2nd inning. Boy, what a day for him. What a day for the Mets. They were down by 4 going to the bottom of the 2nd. tallied 6 times, got 2 more in the 5th, 1 in the 8th inning on the Ray Ordonez show. Jay Bell taking a ball. He's ahead of Dennis Cook, 2 balls and no strikes. And Cook worked a 3 up, 3 down 8th inning with 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
John, those wows you just said, you're not kidding. There's a reason why there's electricity here at Shea now. This is a very good Mets team. This is a solid team, knows how to play, and now they're playing with a confidence that they know they can do well with. And we're talking about pitching setting the tone. They got down 4-0 today, and they came back. Mike Piazza is underrated, I believe, in what he does behind the plate. He plays every day. He's a great big guy. But that play going into the dugout, he didn't have to do that.
I hear people say he's a terrible catcher. He's not a terrible
I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. He's had some trouble throwing at times, and part of it, that Dodger pitching staff that he had trying to throw with didn't hold runners close, and that makes it difficult on a catcher.
Hideo Nomo.
And there's one guy that had trouble holding them close, and he followed him here to the Mets. But Nomo trying to get his act back in gear after surgery in the offseason after having some tremendous years with the Dodgers.
Well, I'm not trying to say that Piazza is Ivan Rodriguez. Not even close.
Well, who is? You're right.
Right now.
You're right. But this guy, listen.
And Johnson is having a tough year now with the Dodgers.
But you know what this guy does? He plays every day. He's a big guy. Normally, you'd say with a big catcher, he's had knee problems in the past. They wear down. He hasn't worn down. 362 he hits last year with 40 home runs. And, you know, he battles you back there. Let that play in the dugout. Here's a guy wanting a big contract. Did he hold off? No, he ended up in the dugout. Doesn't get enough credit for what he does behind the plate. It is the toughest position to play on the field. You take, especially big catchers, take a lot of foul tips, get a lot of chance to get banged up.
That's any catcher through the course of the year.
Yep. But a big catcher seems to be more of a target back there on foul tips.
Out of play it goes. The senior coordinating producer for Major League Baseball on Fox is John Filippelli. Today's game was produced by Carol Langley McDermott and directed by Ray Tipton. The associate director is Kathy Hunt. Our broadcast associate Eric Burak. Our technical director Brian Moss. A walk, leadoff walk to Jay Bell in the 9th inning. Bell is on for the 3rd time. Our pregame coordinating producer on Fox Sports, Scott Ackerson. The pregame is produced by Gary Lang, directed by Bob Levy. The studio associate director is Jennifer Love. The senior producer of Fox Sports, Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are David Hill and Ed Gorin. Garcia's spot in the order, but with a left-hander on the mound, Yamil Benitez. 215 hitter, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs. Used to be with Montreal and Kansas City. He's going to face Cook here in the 9th. Oh, he hit it a mile down the left field line. Foul ball, a foul ball for Benitez. That was the word on him coming through Montreal and over to Kansas City was either a home run or a strikeout.
Yeah, he's a big, strong hitter. When he came up with Kansas City a year ago, he really put some numbers on the board right away with power. And Dennis Cook is shaking his head, first of all, with a lead that he's got. A 5-run lead, and he walks Jay Bell leading off the inning. He's kicking himself. A veteran, I know he didn't try to do it, but with that experience, he's saying to himself, he's got himself talking out there, and then he lays one in there. And it almost makes the game quite a bit closer.
5-run lead right now for Cook and the Mets. 2 strikes on Benitez, who does not get cheated on any swing in the batter's box.
You know, I like Dennis Cook. I'm sure Bobby Valentine has a comfort zone knowing he's got him in the bullpen, followed by John Franco. Boy, when you're a manager and you know you got some guy who knows what he's doing, can come in and throw strikes and can nullify especially the opposition's left-handers, you got something.
1-2 on Benitez. Cook was a starting pitcher with the Cleveland Indians, but as he moved along in his career, he specialized as a middle to setup man. And by being a starter, he could pick up some tough innings while he was working into the setup role he has enjoyed the past few years.
You see left-handers in that specialty role staying around the game a lot of years. I just saw that Jesse Orosco with Baltimore signed a 2-year extension.
Good for him.
And he's already 40 years of age, so the left-handers can stay around and get left-handers out.
But he throws that big, expanding breaking ball. Cook misses for ball 2, but Orozco has that big breaker that can back a left-handed batter out.
And he's been in over 1,000 games. Started here with the Mets. Very effective closer here. I can still see that picture, him throwing the glove up in the air when he saved the game against Houston in the playoffs. What year would that have been? Was that 86?
86.
I guess it was, yeah.
It was. A foul ball. Benitez got a piece of it. Kelly Stinnett is on deck. And the pitcher's spot after that.
Well, what it's going to come down to, when you look at the Cubs and you look at the Mets where they're going, and still not that far behind the San Francisco Giants, what usually tells down the stretch? Pitching. And the Mets probably have the best pitching of those 3 teams. And they also have a depth in pitching. But they're going to be playing an awful lot on the road. And you asked earlier in the game, is the fatigue factor going to set in with these doubleheaders from this week catching up to the Mets down the road?
It has to somewhere, doesn't it?
I would think so.
Even though they didn't have to go too deep into the bullpen. And down the stretch, the Mets are playing the contenders for the wild card, the Giants and the Dodgers. The Padres are leading the West. The Braves going to wrap up the East in the National League, but they have to play the Braves home and home, 7 games.
And the Astros are hot now and have become one of the super teams. Al Leiter, that is Al coming over from the Marlins, originally started in the Yankee organization, has really come home, Jersey kid.
A long one down the left field line, and that's out of play. A foul ball to the 3rd level.
You know, looking at the dugouts, you saw all their 4 of their starting pitchers. You know the guy, last 2 weeks ago when we did the ball game in Colorado, Armando Reynoso pitched. He has been near perfect for these guys. You made a point that you couldn't make a trade. There he is. You could not make a trade for a guy that effective at this time of year. He has been just outstanding for the Mets ball club, and you got to give credit through their system to bring him back after surgery as well.
So the Mets pitching at a 3-5-1. Second to the Braves at 333, and there's a ring up. Benitez is out on strikes, the 3rd strikeout for Cook in today's relief outing. Well, the Mets came back from Arizona after Sunday's game, had the rain out. I mean, got back so late, but had the rain out Monday, doubleheader with Colorado, then doubleheaders with the Cardinals, and now they have to go back to the West Coast.
I know it's really tough, but as we said so many times, pitching sets the tone of a game. If you have the depth like the Mets have, you don't have to go to your bullpen that early. You give your offense time, if they hold them close, to do some at the plate. The problem you have is, well, this is what the Diamondbacks have. You have an offense that's struggling, say. Now your pitcher has really pressure on him because he doesn't have any runs to work with. What happens then? You get into bullpen too soon. It becomes a vicious cycle, and the Mets have the opposite. They have the strengths to offset that.
Right now the Mets need to get something out of Greg McMichael and Mel Rojas.
Yes, yeah.
They need to get big performances from them. If they do, things will fall in line and they will play in October. That's what I believe.
Well, it could get exciting around postseason play in New York City if both these teams, the Yankees and the Mets, are in it.
1-2 on Stinnett. The Mets have San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego on the road, and then play the Atlanta Braves.
Well, it's not going to be easy. It is never easy. But you can see what they've been in their last 34 games, 23-11. That's outstanding baseball. And I'll tell you what, if they continue to play the way we've seen them play this week, 6-3 through a vicious, if they win this game, 6-3 with a vicious schedule, but also with some outstanding inside baseball.
That's low, 2-2, and the Cubs are losing 8-1 to Houston in the bottom of the 9th at Wrigley.
You know what showed me something? They're in those doubleheaders. They swept the first one from the Rockies. Then they get into the doubleheaders against the Cardinals, and they lose the first game in both of those. You know, you could fold it up a little bit. They didn't. They come back and won the second game with a shutout yesterday. And that's a sign of a team with some strength and some character.
A runner on double play can end the game. 3-2 on Stinnett, 1 out. The Mets and Cubs started the day tied for the lead in the wild card race with the Giants 4 out, followed by the Dodgers, and then the Phillies are 8 back.
Now you're looking at Bobby Valentine. I played on 2 teams with Bobby, with the Dodgers and the Angels. One of the hardest playing kids I've ever been around. In fact, broke a leg because he played so hard running into a fence.
Strike three. Stinnett is out. Now the Diamondbacks are down to their last out. Bautista is going to be the batter.
Pitch hitting for Chris Mahalik, number 10, Tony Bautista.
Tony Bautista, formerly with the Oakland A's organization.
John, watch this stance. Here's a stance. We were talking earlier and trying to talk about open stances, closed stances. Watch this one. This is the most unorthodox stance I think you'll ever see in baseball. He almost faces the pitcher, and then he'll do what we call in the game, in the parlance, he dives into the ball, but he's got an open stance. In fact, he's closed it up just a little bit, but look at how he's, oh no, there he goes. Look at this stance.
Strike one. Look at that swing.
Well, that didn't look real good, but he's got some power in his
12
swing.
home runs, 28 RBIs, a .276 average, playing in right around 70 ball games.
Well, I'll tell you, the old New York fans will remember a guy that played for the Yankees named Gil McDougall, who used to lay the bat back in an unorthodox stance at a grand slam home run in the '51 World Series against the Giants. Had a strange stance.
Cook steps off the rubber, and Bautista will step out.
Gil McDougall, of course, known for the line drive back to the middle. It hit Herb Score in the eye, the great Cleveland left-hander.
McDougall coached at Fordham. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tony Bautista.
But everybody said, well, how can you hit like that? He used to lay his hands back and the bat back right back toward the catcher.
Mickey Tettleton did that a little bit.
Yes, he sure did.
Well, batting left-handed, as I recall. Fouled back, and now the Diamondbacks are down to their last strike. 1 strike away are the Mets from their 72nd win, and it's final. Houston beat the Cubs 8-3. So 1 more strike, and the Mets will be alone in the wild card race. They'll be ahead of the Cubs by a game. 1-2 on Tony Bautista. Jay Bell walked leading off the 9th. As Cook tries to finish this game for Bobby Jones. 1 more strike and Jones will go to 9-7. Dennis will fall to 11-12. 2-2. Dennis Cook out of the University of Texas. Should Bautista get on base, Andy Fox will be the batter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Olerud is playing behind Jay Bell at first base. On the right side. This is going to be interesting, but Cook gets there ahead of Bautista, and this ball game has come to an end. The final score, 9-4, the Mets over Arizona. We'll be back to wrap it up from Shea Stadium right after these messages.
Mambo into Red Lobster and try our 30 shrimp dinner. Pick the 2 shrimp dishes that suit you. We pile on 30 shrimp for under 10 bucks. That's a lot of shrimp for just $9.99. The shrimp are jumping. So hurry in for your 30 shrimp dinner at Red Lobster. 'Cause life on land is dry.
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo, recommended #1 by dermatologists. It works. Works on all 3 major itchy, flaky scalp conditions. The leading prescription dandruff shampoo doesn't. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. It works.
The dog ate my homework. The teacher doesn't like me. I bet I need glasses.
I'm allergic to pencil lead.
Hey, it's your gene pool.
Nothing has inspired more excuses than report cards. But now Radio Shack has the compact home computers with software and internet enhancements specifically for learning. The new Compact Creative Learning series can help kids do better in school, so they'll do better in life. Only at Radio Shack.
I dismissed all A's by 3 B's.
When you ship with Priority Mail, it's a great way to save money. But what about other parts of the world? There's Global Priority Mail. And here's the best part. Give us a few days more, and you can save up to 70% over FedEx or UPS. So, what's your global priority? Try Global Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Lisa Kudrow guest stars on an all-new Simpsons.
Your name's Lisa? Shut up! I love that name.
Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, followed by the series premiere of That 70s Show.
The final score today, the Mets over the Arizona Diamondbacks 9-4 as the Mets improved to 72-57. And Mike Piazza had a big day. He hit a grand slam, his 4th of the season, the 9th of the career, capping off a 6-run second inning in the Mets win. So for Jeff Torborg, I'm John Rooney saying so long from Shea Stadium. 9-4, the Mets over the Diamondbacks. And Chip Carey will be along from our Fox Network Center with some final thoughts after these messages.
$55. What'll it be?
We'll take some rice and...
Get some Favre, too.
Yeah.
Now you can choose which teams you see every Sunday with DirecTV and NFL Sunday Ticket. There's up to 13 regular season games a week.
Price check on Favre.
Hey, Brett. Hey, John.
So stock up on all your favorites. NFL Sunday Ticket. It's not on cable. See it on DirecTV. So what are you looking at?
Attention shoppers. Now get $200 worth of programming when you get DirecTV.
In the game of international espionage, he is the most dangerous player. There is no conspiracy he can't stop.
That's an explosive device.
No enemy he can't escape.
They could target anywhere they want.
No army he can't take on.
I'm gonna find a place around here to collapse.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Knock On. Rated R. Opens everywhere September 4th.
Whenever car batteries are put to the test, America's most trusted lives up to its name. Die Hard. What's under your hood?
Send your packages in 2 days with FedEx to lots of different places. You get lots of different prices.
Send your packages in 2 days with UPS to lots of different places. You get lots of different prices.
Send your packages in 2 to 3 days with Priority Mail to lots of different places. You get the same price. You know, $3.
So, what's your priority? Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
And we'd be over there, and we're very serious, and it's sort of newsy, and that was the way we did things.
Well, you guys are talking about world wars, huh?
Yeah, and then we'd watch you guys throwing stuff back and forth at each other. People are screaming, and Bradshaw's got his arms flailing around. I said, that looks like fun.
Fox NFL Sunday returns September 6th.
Okay, John and Jeff, thanks a lot. Chip Carey back in Los Angeles. Let's show you the scoreboard from today's Major League action. As you just saw, the Mets clobber the Diamondbacks 9-4. Coming from 4-0 down, Mike Piazza, a grand slam. Mets 6-2 on this homestand and have a one-game lead in the National League's wild card by virtue of a big 8-3 win by the Houston Astros over the Chicago Cubs today at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Randy Johnson now 4-1 with the Astros. How about Moises Alou, dark horse MVP candidate, 4 for 5, 3 runs, a homer, 2 RBIs today. The Cubs 1 through 4 hitters, 0 for 15 with 6 strikeouts today against Randy Johnson. He was mesmerizing once again. Baltimore beats Indians 6-3 today. Cal Ripken, an 11-game hit streak. Scott Erickson, his AL high 9th complete game. Manny Ramirez hit his 30th home run for the Indians in a losing effort. 6-3 your score today. Dodgers and Braves down at Turner Field in Atlanta. No score, top of the second. Darren Dreifert against Denny Nagel. The Braves have won 5 of their last 6 against the Los Angeles Ball Club. And the Oakland A's and Tigers now 1-0 in the top of the second. In Oakland, Moeller against Gil Heredia. Oakland's won 4 straight. The Tigers have lost 14 of their last 17 games. Next week's slate of games here on Fox Saturday Baseball's Game of the Week. Mark McGwire continues his home run chase against the Atlanta Braves, or some of you will see a cross-country battle between the Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. For Steve Lyons and our entire crew, Chip Carey. See you next week. So long, everybody.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, home of the '98 World Series and Super Bowl 33. Fox Sports, bringing you championship moments into the next millennium.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days. Like a zero-down, $319 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $814 due at signing. Or during summer days, take advantage of low 1.9% financing. But you'd better hurry in because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check out this $319 lease at your dealer.
What you want is a great selection of cars at a great price. What you need is Ford's factory authorized clearance. Going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because doing Ford's factory authorized clearance, you can get low 0% financing on Ford Taurus. Plus, get $750 cash back. What you want is style and performance. What you need is a Ford Taurus with low 0% financing and $750 cash back. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store today.
Next week on Good Day, the deadly dangers of road rage, plus make a fashion statement with platform shoes. That's next week starting at 7 on Good Day New York.
We now join our regular programming already in progress.
This man is irresponsible. He's immature. He's a downright danger. I'm sure you'll both agree that this man needs professional help. Will you? Gentlemen, I believe I left the iron on.
I'll help you turn it off, sir. You know what, Stuart? I think I'm going to enjoy this job.
Kendall, we have to get the media here for this contest. It's the only way I can get my beloved Academy back to